What's going on, everybody? We are back. Now, just a heads up, it's a whole new season. It's a whole new format. We're doing a whole new.
Yeah.
They're asking me not to be myself. The team here is staring at me from this section of the office.
No pressure.
Really encouraging me not to be who we've been here on the Leadership Leaning podcast.
It's a new season. I wouldn't say don't be yourself. It's just more of like
it's just how I
different angle.
It's how I interpret things. Got a lot of Joe Rogan
refresh
vibes going on over here. You know, Joe Rogan, he always says, and on this one, we're not a murder mystery podcast, you guys.
Although I do love a murder mystery podcast. If you ever
Only murderers in the
I would
building.
highly suggest.
Shout out to Selena. Anyways, we are have you seen?
Not yet, but I saw a little.
How could you go wrong with Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena Gomez?
Also, do you feel like, side note, Steve Martin has looked the same forever? Like since Father of the Bride?
Since Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Like this guy, I don't even know if you've heard of that movie.
I have heard of it. I've never seen it, but I've heard of it. Old
school stuff. So we are back.
Yep.
The team just told me, and when I say team, I mean Aaron over there, just told us we have not had a podcast since July 14th.
Yeah, what are we doing?
That is how long we have been apart. I have missed you. I've thought about you since the day I left you. No. Honestly, you know what that makes me think of? Since July 14th, have we talked about the fact that I took my family on a 3-week trip?
I feel like there's some serious gold in these stories. I don't know any background stories.
I think I should post on Instagram like a recap swipes of like some of the trip and the travel and all that.
You know what I want? I want like BTS. I want bloopers from the trip because I feel like Julia has some bloopers stories saved up.
When you take your kids on 12 flights to 4 states, we went to Missouri, we went to Tennessee, we went to Alabama, we went to Florida.
Yeah.
We saw some of the greatest people in the world. We were at some of the greatest churches. And we just said, let's take our kids out on the road. That's why we didn't do the podcast for so long. We were out on the road.
With 3 boys.
It was phenomenal. But we are back.
Yep.
Leadership Lean In. We are ecstatic. We're going to bring some new stuff. This is how it's going to roll. This is our new format.
Tell them.
So we're going to do every week. This is a big commitment, by the way.
Yeah. It's great.
The great Torrin Wells texted me this morning, and he said, who produces your podcast? What company? And I said, well, it's called Zoe Church. Again, it's Aaron and a group of misfits that put on the podcast. He's like, I can connect you with these people. They do Chris Kane. They do mine. They do that. And I was like, please connect me with them. Yeah. Yes. Let's see where that could potentially go. But
but we love you guys so much.
We love y'all. So we're going to go 1 week, kind of like this format. Some of our crew will be here. And then week 2, we'll do just teaching.
I love it.
And then we'll kind of flow like that.
See where it goes.
So we've got some subjects today we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But as always, thank you to our sponsors. Oh, wait, we don't have any yet. How do we get on Torrin Wells level?
Please.
Man, this podcast is brought to you by Nate, Aaron, and Drew. So we have no sponsors yet, but we have tons of opportunity out there. They haven't contacted us yet. That's our biggest problem.
Sponsored by
So thank you to those that subscribe. Thank you to those that share. Right now, maybe you're on a run. Maybe you're in the office. Maybe you're a group of interns sitting around watching the Leadership Lean In podcast. We're going to bring great content to you and our commitment for the rest of the year. We took our little summer break.
Yep.
The rest of the year, we're going in strong. So, subject number 1. Let's talk about the fall.
The fall is here. It's the best season of the year.
Hands down.
Football.
Why do you love the fall?
Well, multiple reasons. Number 1, Julia is always good for a few parties in the fall.
She just texted me yesterday. Just a heads up, I'm planning 4 parties right now.
Yeah, of course she is. And then also, it's just the season of fall. Although the weather doesn't quite get cold enough in Los Angeles. We just pretend, though.
But this morning, I got up, left my house early. It's foggy. It's hoodie weather.
The marine layer.
By 8:39, we got to, open up the windows, get shorts on, but that morning time's pretty good.
The morning time's good.
Here in LA.
Yep.
The fall has the pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah.
It has the pumpkin spice candle.
The pumpkin patch.
It's a lot of pumpkins in the fall.
Do you like pumpkin spice lattes?
I don't like the pumpkin spice latte, but I appreciate it's a part of culture. I acknowledge it.
Yeah, same. I'll acknowledge it. I love that for you.
Yeah,
but it's
great
not for me.
you. It's like for a Target soccer mom. I feel like she takes the kids to school. She's got one little one left.
Gosh.
She puts in the stroller. She gets the
is
Starbucks
so
at Target.
At Target.
And
that's risky.
Slowly peruses through the aisles.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at her. She's earned that. She's so.
I also feel like it's for like a young, like high schooler.
Very true.
Yeah, like youth group. They're showing up with the whipped cream on top.
Very, very true. Very suburb living. But so the fall, we got football.
Yeah.
Today, actually, we're at the day we're recording this. Football kicks off tonight.
Yeah.
The Cowboys and the Bucks. College football, of course, is my favorite. My favorite team in the whole world. Number one favorite, above the Lakers.
Yep.
Above the Dodgers.
Yep.
Above the Seahawks is the Washington Husky football team. We got annihilated. We got destroyed on Saturday. I was texting with Aaron. I forgot what it's like to be so disappointed by a team.
Yikes.
To just have your emotions trashed.
Right. Seahawks.
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about it, but
so the fall's here. We got school. We got football. We got fall weather. The whole thing is just the best.
It's the best season of all time.
It's like no one ever sits around and goes, man, I miss May.
No one.
Has anyone,
not a soul.
Has anyone ever been like, but you know what I really love? I love April.
June was a great time.
Yeah. Favorite month of the year. Why? Oh, I'm a big Father's Day guy. Wait, what? You like Father's Day? That's not the best day of the year, to be honest.
No.
Probably least favorite holiday.
Is
ranked the lowest for most people. I'm not saying me. I'm a father. I can celebrate. Man. But I'm saying for most people.
Yeah. It's just kind of like.
It represents something. So anyway, fall. It's good stuff. And this fall, September.
Yep.
It's called a segue. September challenge.
Yes. How are you doing on this challenge?
So let's talk about first the genesis of these challenges.
Yeah.
Because now I'm 3 months in.
And honestly, you've committed.
Yes.
And people are invested.
July. Did I tell you about my August one?
No.
Did I tell you what happened to me? So all of this started, my little brother. This is, by the way, I'm going to tell you 2 stories about my brother. Number one, the first one. My little brother posts that he's doing hard 75. Your husband.
Yeah.
He's probably 61.
Let's see, it's September 9th. He's done September 17th. He's almost done.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
good for him.
Good for Roman.
Not
Shout
for
out to
me.
Roman.
Yeah,
Roman is looking more and more like Joe Rogan, by the way. Roman actually stood up and stabbed me the other day, and I was like, wow, his shoulders look like Joe Rogan's shoulders.
He's like,
he has transformed
Ukrainian
his body.
Through and through.
So my brother posted he's doing this hard 75.
Yeah.
And I go,
it's crazy.
This is the way I self-talk. I go, you loser. What are you doing? Where you at?
Yeah, competitive.
Yeah,
Chad.
competitive. Yeah. Your competitive nature kicks
And it's
in.
when you're sibling, you're like, are you for real?
I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So I go, okay, he's doing 75. I'll do 30. So I jumped in for July challenge. I think I did a facial routine at night.
Yeah.
I did like 5 a.m. every day.
No bread.
Maybe I started in June. I
want to say it's June.
June was the first month. Yeah, June. I did 5 a.m. All this stuff.
Yeah.
So
aggressive.
So I liked it so much though. It kept me,
it's cool.
focused. It had my, it's guardrails. So then I did one in July. I bumped it from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. because the 5 a.m. was a bit aggressive. I was napping every day.
Yeah. It's like no one's awake, including God. He's not awake.
I was actually the most productive month of the year, to be honest. 5 a.m. I think I might bring it back next month.
Like 5:30.
Ooh, 5:30 is
good.
So I did June. We did July. We did August. August, this is the best. It's like August 2nd or 3rd. And we're in Florida. We land at Florida at like 1 a.m. in Orlando. It's 1 or 2 a.m. We get to the hotel. I walk in the hotel lobby. The manager of this nice hotel, the lady gasps. I walk in. She goes, oh my God, I know who you are. And she puts down, she was having a treat. And she had committed to the August challenge, no sugar.
Oh, she got.
Her coworker, she's like, I'm doing the August challenge. And her coworker's like, yeah, right. You already cheated. And so, but I thought that was so cool. In
Yeah.
Orlando, this girl's like, I'm doing the August challenge.
She got. She started over, hopefully.
And she's like, I think God sent you here to warn me you better do this thing. I thought that's hilarious.
Oh, man.
So anyway, this September challenge, we're doing no sugar.
Yep.
We're doing, what's the other thing we're doing?
Your 21 days of prayer.
21 days of prayer. 4 fears you have to conquer.
That's a good one.
It's been a great one. Social media only for an hour a day.
Yeah, no sugar.
And
Wait, did you say that?
Yeah,
already?
no sugar. And what's the other? There's a big one. There's another big one. I can't remember what it is. But I'm loving 12 miles a week. 12 miles. That's the big one. That's the biggest one.
That's the big one.
I'm loving the September challenge. Oh, this is the great one. So on Saturday, I ran like 3.7 miles and I posted it. 3.7 miles. I'm sweaty. I'm like, we can do hard things.
So proud.
And my brother, once again, insert my hero brother. He replies and he goes, "That's cool. I ran 16 miles today." I go, "Who is this guy?"
It's called a one.
I go, I've done 3.7 today, 15.4 for the week. He goes, "That's cool."
Yeah.
I ran 16 miles.
It's like, let me crush your goals in one day.
Gosh, what am I doing wrong? I was really proud of myself.
Thanks, bro.
Until I read that. But I like this. Here's the thing about challenges. If we keep doing the same things, we're going to keep getting the same results.
Yes.
So we got to mix it up. We got to change things up. We got to figure out a way to, it's like, what do they say? If you go in the gym, you keep doing the same stuff, like your muscles won't grow.
Yeah.
You got to shock. You got to shock your muscles, shock the body. I feel like you got to shock your system, do hard things, challenge yourself. And it's all about being able to be disciplined and find a commitment and stick to that. So I've been loving these challenges. And I think I'm already working on October.
Yeah. I feel like
I look forward to it.
Okay. If they're watching on YouTube, they should comment what they think should be in the next challenge.
That's great.
Yeah.
Comment and tell us what
what you think should go in the next. We're not going to do it.
No, we'll consider it.
We'll consider it.
I love the declarations one.
Okay, that one, I think
in August.
So many people did that challenge.
Yes.
And
thousands of people.
I even saw in your comments, people were saying like, I'm printing this out. This is so cool. I'm reading this with my daughter. It's awesome.
It's what Colin Henderson was talking about last podcast. Don't listen to yourself. Talk to yourself. Declare things over yourself. Your mind is so drawn to negative things. It keeps record of failure. So you got to tell yourself how powerful, successful, how great you are.
Right.
And so I believe in all that. I think that's very important. So September challenge, if you're not doing it, start right when you hear this podcast. Start with us.
Yeah.
And then October, we'll bring great stuff out.
Oh, I'm excited.
Do you have an idea for September? For October?
October is birthday month for you and in your family.
A lot of
Julia.
birthdays.
So I kind of feel like there should be a giveaway, some kind of in October. Ooh. Maybe if someone's joining us.
Yes.
I'm just saying. Everyone wants to celebrate,
You know what I've always wanted to do? Maybe I'll do it this year. I always like it when people give away their birthday.
Oh, Charity Water does a great job.
Charity Water does that.
Yeah.
I feel like
a few different. I only can think of Charity Water in this moment.
I wonder what I could do.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's always really cool.
Yeah. Does anyone have any ideas?
Send me
how
ideas.
Chad
like, what are
can
other
spend his
organizations?
birthday?
What are other organizations besides water? What else?
I feel like
you do?
A21 does maybe a cycling one. I can't think of anything right now. Where's Nate?
Send us the comments.
Google it, Nate.
Send us, Aaron. Google what are the top organizations you can give your birthday to.
Your birthday.
I'm going to give away my birthday. I'm turning 42. That's my Jackie Robinson year.
Wow.
Turning 42. I'm going to give away my birthday this year.
That's great.
It's going to be a part of our challenge.
That. Part of the challenge. Okay.
Donda.
Yes.
The other day I'm driving in the van.
Donda.
And my 3-year-old goes, Donda. And my 5-year-old starts, Donda. So I take out a video and I send it to our nanny and I go, thanks a lot. And she goes, I knew it. She goes, somebody sent me a TikTok and it was just Donda.
Over and over.
So she goes, we didn't listen to the album. It was just the TikTok video that I played in the background. But they remembered it.
They remembered.
So here's my question.
Yeah.
Donda or Certified Lover Boy? What an album title.
Yeah. All right.
Have you listened to the Drake one?
I have.
I haven't listened to it yet.
And I was saying this earlier. I feel like I'm just getting maybe older.
Yeah.
Also, wiser. But I like Donda better. I just feel like I'm an old school Drake kind of gal, and maybe I need to give it a chance.
You're kind
and
of
listen,
a take care,
which exposes my age.
Yep.
Which is fine. I feel like I need to give it another listen through, but I also have a 3-year-old, so it's like, when am I going to listen to a Certified Lover Boy titled album?
Here's my thing with Donda. Kanye got a lot of flack about the album.
Yes.
I read a lot of reviews actually, but I thought it was genius the way he rolled out the album.
Same.
I thought it was great marketing. I think that I read something where it's like, I think it had already brought in $32 million before the album was even released, in ticket sales, merch sales, so on and so forth. So I thought it was pretty genius. And the first thing I loved is that Jay's on the,
Jay is on it.
Watch the Throne
Donda
too,
goes
pretty
hard.
much. Yeah, it does.
It goes hard.
It's great.
Yeah.
And I like that he edited it.
Same.
I think it's kind of fascinating. The Soulja Boy kickback, that whole thing is kind of fascinating to me. I'm helpless for Breakfast Club. You know that.
Yes.
You do realize I watch a lot of Breakfast Club YouTube.
Yes. Shout out to the Breakfast Club.
So I just like the hip hop world. I like the drama there. I have not listened to the Drake album.
Yeah.
I have kids. We roll in a minivan together. The Donda one feels like a gospel album-ish.
Listen, Come to Life on Donda, this song, Come to Life, 3.5 minutes in.
Yeah.
It goes.
It goes. Okay, next one. I'm going to tell you what I'm reading. What are you reading?
Okay. I am not reading anything yet.
I'm into it.
I'm going to start reading The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry.
Oh, God.
Because you talked about it like a few weeks ago.
Oh, God.
But do you know how many times this book has been recommended to me and how many times I have not read it?
I'm
reading
it's just proof of a good book.
Yes. Honestly,
a good
over 5
book
times.
will sell itself.
Yeah.
A good book lives forever.
Yeah.
I'm writing, my 4th book right now, and I'm obsessing over this book.
Yeah.
I'm writing a book on prayer right now. And I'm working the hardest I've ever worked on this book, because I realize, and the Ruthless Elimination of Hurry reminded me of this, if you work hard on the book,
right,
it will change somebody's life.
100%.
I was reading this book in Alabama. I'd read a chapter. I'd come inside. I would say to the group that was there staying with us, this is the best book I've ever read. I would go back out on the patio. I'd read another chapter. I'd come back in. I would say, you guys, this is the best book I've ever read. And I kept saying that for every chapter. It's so well written.
Yeah.
It has such great content. One of the things I love about John Mark Comer, by the way, shout out to John Mark Comer.
Shout out.
I
cannot wait to read this book.
He taught me so much about Sabbath rest.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been a pastor for 2 decades, and I learned the most out of his book about Sabbath rest and practically how to do it. But one of the things I love about his book is that he quotes people so much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the whole thing about just citing your source.
Yeah.
That citing your source does not make you look weak. It actually brings credibility to you.
Well, I remember, so you do these leadership emails, which are the best. But I remember you saying you collect quotes.
Yes.
You collect them they're in
them.
your tool belt. You collect quotes that you're like, I love this. I love that. I'm learning from this.
But I feel like I don't do a good job. This Colin Henderson, if you go back and watch his podcast, or if you listen to anything he does, he's always saying the quote and the person that said it.
Yes, he remembers to the T.
I don't do that well. And I was inspired by John Mark Comer and Colin to start citing my source.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that with Donda lyrics. Kanye said.
I don't know if you've heard Kanye.
Yeah. But I think if you have not read The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, it's one of the best books I've ever read. I just ordered, and I just got, the guys were just saying the guy's name, You Can't Hurt Me.
David Goggin, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have his name down. Labor Day, we were over at some friend's house, and they were talking about this guy.
Yes.
And they were talking about, someone was saying this is the best book that they've ever read. And so I can't wait. It's on my kitchen counter. Just came in from Amazon. I'm so excited.
David Goggins. S on the end.
And they say he's just.
Savage.
Savage is a great word.
Yep.
They say he is a bad man.
Bad mamma jamma.
Bad mamma jamma.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to read this book. It's always about reading. That was one of my favorite challenges. We did 4 books in 1 month.
Yeah. Okay. Do you do audio or do you straight up read regular books?
I do both.
Yeah. Because if you're running, I feel like
I do better with the audio.
Yeah.
So Matt Wang was just telling me, the great Matt Wang in our church was saying
amazing.
he reads along with the audio.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, I could get down.
Never heard anybody say that.
Well, because if you're listening to it and you see the words, you probably remember it better.
Powerful, right?
Yeah. Wow,
okay.
That's smart.
So we're reading books.
Yeah.
You can't hurt me. I'll tell you how it goes and how I feel about this book. And then we are in the middle of 21 Days of Prayer. You hosted this morning.
I did.
Great job. That was awesome.
Thank you. It was cool. I was like, chances of a kid coming in, 99%.
High, very high.
But everyone paid.
Very stressful. I love doing 21 Days of Prayer.
Yeah.
Because it has a start and an end.
Yeah.
But there's this community aspect. There's this corporate combustion where it just explodes within the community of prayer. And I think I was teaching on Sunday, but like people don't pray because they don't know how to.
Right.
And I feel like when we do these prayer, campaigns, they can change people's lives because, we're teaching people this is how you engage. This is how you talk to God. This is how you believe for something. This is how, you quote scripture and that model of prayer is so powerful.
Well, I feel like people forget that prayer is a solution.
Yes.
So all of a sudden 21 Days of Prayer comes around and I'm like, it never fails. We start 21 Days of Prayer and I start talking to friends that are believing for this or are stressed about this or something happens in their family. And you're like, I'm going to pray for you. You're on my list. Or 21 days, I'm going to pray for you.
Right.
And then at the end, you're like, you just start that in your everyday life.
I love what you're saying this morning too about your prayer list, that you start writing down stuff. Say that again.
I am a big fan of pen and paper.
Huge.
So every 21 Days of Prayer, or if you're starting a new season, I write down my prayers by category. So I'll do my kids, circle it, and just start writing prayers over them. A lot of times it's like I'm prophetically praying over them, so to speak. So like I want my daughters to be filled with joy and faith. So and then my house and my church and find things that we're personally praying for and family. So I can look back to like 2015 and tell you everything that's
what I was praying for.
We prayed for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just like you look at it and you're like, oh, that was like a dangerous prayer to pray.
Right.
And then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to step it up.
It's kind of like what Brian Bertelson was saying on our Kingdom Builder call yesterday. Write down your goals or write down your prayers. Keep them somewhere so you can go back and see how far you've come and how far God's brought you.
Yeah.
I believe in that, the history of it. And praying, I like what you said, dangerous prayers.
Yeah.
Like, I love the line, a man with a savior is willing to take a risk.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant line. A man with a savior is willing to take a risk, because if Jesus, we are in risky business. Mm-hmm. It's risky to lay down your life.
Yeah.
It's risky to pray to a God you can't see.
Yeah.
It's risky to give your money. It's risky to help. It's risky. Like, we're not playing it safe.
Right.
And because we've been made by a God who did not play it safe. Mm-hmm. He laid it all on the line, died on a cross. That's not safe. So because we have a Savior that did not play it safe for the good of others, we can't play it safe.
Right.
So I always think we got to pray that way.
Yeah.
Like big, dangerous prayers and just stuff that's like, I'm going to believe for crazy stuff. Like how Mike Todd says it, crazy faith. That it says like, and I love, he always says, it's crazy until it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy until it's like, you look back and you're like, wow.
Yes.
I can't believe all the things we prayed for have come to pass.
Well, also what's powerful is if this has happened to you personally, you're personally praying for people. So like more than texting, I'm praying for you.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever shot them like an audio message of you actually praying for somebody?
Yes.
Like that's powerful.
Very powerful.
Texting someone like, hey, I know you have a doctor's appointment. I'm praying for you right now.
Yep.
I've been the recipient of that. And
Huge.
it just makes you feel like, oh, there's more faith added into this bucket of what I'm believing for.
Huge.
Yeah.
So I get excited. 21 days of
It's
prayer.
so awesome.
We're on day number 8 today. No.
7, 5.
5 because it didn't start on the 1st. That's why.
Yeah.
It shook me a
We're
little
on
bit.
day 5.
Today is September the 8th. We started.
Today
Today's September the 9th.
9th. And it is, look at me fact checking. It's day 5.
5. By the way, tomorrow, September 10th.
Yeah.
My life was radically changed on September 10th, 1999. September, you just remember days.
Yeah.
Certain dates mark your life.
Yep.
My life was radically changed September 10th, tomorrow, 1999.
Is this the Promise Keeper story?
No, this is when I was driving up to Big Bear.
Oh, yes.
And I listened to a teaching by Creflo Dollar, and I got the Greek word Zoe for the first time.
That's a great
was
story.
September 10th. And I know that date so well because, number one, my life was changed, and one of my little sister's best friend was driving home after a high school dance. She crashed her car in a ditch and passed away.
And then you listen to this on like a cassette tape,
right?
On
a cassette tape. And sorry, also, the pastor of the church I first worked at, September 10th, 1999, had a heart attack and passed away. So that day represents 2 deaths. The pastor I was serving and my sister's friend both passed away September 10th, 1999.
Jeez.
And my life was radically changed that day on a drive to Big Bear.
Wow.
So it's like you just know those days.
Yeah.
Days that mark, I think you don't have a ton of them.
No.
But yeah, like I can remember April 26th, 1996. Mm-hmm. That is the Promise Keeper story. And that's when I was 16 and radically, saved and changed. So
doesn't
September
that just
is awesome.
Swell up so much gratitude?
Yes.
When you're like, you look back at those days or times and you're like, man, I'm so grateful for that. I
always say
it's impossible to not feel that way.
Yes. None of us got this far in our dreams.
No.
No one got this far. No one was like, I know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to live in this city. I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to have these great relationships. I'm going to have these opportunities. Nobody got this far in our dreams.
No.
God has been so faithful.
Yeah.
So good. So September's a big month for us. We're praying, believing God for stuff. I want all the leaners, every leaner should be writing down prayers, what their goals are, what they're believing for.
Yeah.
Huge stuff.
Yeah. Well, and we sent out the 21 days of prayer, prayer topics.
Yep.
So it's so easy. It's right in your email, or they can follow Zoe on Instagram. Follow along.
Easy.
It's too easy.
Okay. Last thing. By the way, I have to send you. Erika sends out the leadership emails. Shout out to Erika. We have an email that goes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think I know what I'm going to write about September 10th, 1999.
You definitely
I'm going to write about
because
that.
It's powerful.
Yeah. I think it'd be great. But the last email we sent that was content was this great quote I want to talk about.
Okay. I loved this.
This is good. This is phenomenal.
Yeah.
If you're not having a good time, lower your expectations. That is a great quote.
It's an amazing quote.
So
the thought behind it.
We're in Missouri. We're out on the boat. Actually, my friend Danny White told me this quote last summer. It was so good. I said, say it to my boys, say it to my family. Tell them the quote about expectations. And Danny White, you got to know Danny. Danny's just like, Danny's the mayor.
Yeah.
He first of all, he runs, lives here in LA, runs his golf club. He's the GOAT. He's the guy. When you're with Danny White, you're with the man.
Yeah.
But he's also from Branson, Missouri.
I love it.
And has an unbelievable setup out there. We're in the boat. We're going to dinners. We're hanging out. We had the best time with Danny and Alicia White. We love these guys. And I said, Danny, tell my family this quote. And he says, if you're not having a good time, lower your expectations, which I love because I always feel like people get creased. Think about LA. People get heartbroken because they move to LA with these high, lofty expectations.
Yep.
Or we can use the word dreams. And it doesn't pan out. It doesn't develop. It doesn't work out the way they want. And they get so creased, so depressed, so hurt. And it's like, no. I always think, lower your expectations on people and raise your expectations on God. Mm-hmm. I think we have 2 big expectations of ourselves.
Right.
Outcomes, goals. Yep. We expect so much from others. People will always let you down. Mm-hmm. people are flawed and imperfect and inconsistent just like you are.
Right.
So my expectations can't go on my boss or my friends or my spouse.
Mm-hmm.
I have big expectations on God and low expectations on others. If you're not having a good time, you just expect Christmas, you expect, Valentine's, you expect the anniversary dinner,
Yeah.
we have these expectations on events, and they don't live up to the hype. It's like these pay-per-view boxing events,
Oh, geez.
Manny Pacquiao
Knockout
or Floyd,
in, like, the
or
first
now
minute.
it's the Paul brothers. It is, we expected it to go, X amount of rounds, or this person was going to. If you're not having a good time,
lower your expectations.
How do you do with that? Are you good with expectations?
Well, I love that you brought up Christmas. And because when you have a family and you have kids, you're like, this needs to be the most epic thing of all time. And I actually love the podcast with you and Colin because you talk a lot about learning how to be present.
Yes.
And I feel like if you lower your expectation, you're way more present in any scenario, making it the best time ever.
That's it.
Like most of the time you're preoccupied trying to make something great or trying to feel like something should be better or whatever. Your expectation is so high, you get so disappointed. And then you leave and you're like, did I engage with anyone? Did I look anyone in the eye? Was I in the room? So I love that thought. And then I'm going to get better at quoting people too. But I saw this quote that said, you have to stop expecting people to respond the way you would respond. So a lot of times in our expectations for other people, there are expectations for ourselves. And we're made one way. I'm wired a certain way. So my expectation for somebody who's not wired the way that I'm wired, it has to change. So I think honestly it goes back to being present in every situation.
Yeah, and I think, it also, you have to identify when is it appropriate to have big time expectations.
Totally.
Like when it comes to church, what makes church great is that there's expectation.
And they're communicated.
There's anticipation. Yeah, so there is an appropriate time. Yeah. It's not like we can't have expectation. I expect my spouse to be faithful. I expect my spouse to play her role within the house just like I'm supposed to play my role within the house. So I'm not saying expectations are bad, but when it comes to, like events, parties, outcomes, you gotta, I always feel like people get creased. Yeah. And they get upset. And even with in the church world, this happens, like I went through this and I expected the church and and it's like, dude, you'll have such a better life and such better relationships if you lower your expectations and give people an opportunity to flourish. Right. Rather than disappoint you.
Well, expectations are different than standards.
Yes.
So standards, guardrails, basic things people in your life. Like we're not saying lower your expectation on somebody who's toxic.
Right.
There's a standard that allows certain people in your life and certain situations that you're going to be in. But I love that thought of not placing so much, not letting a situation define ultimately who you are and how you're going to react to something.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is what I'm teaching my 7-year-old the most. He has high expectations. He's just hear him about his birthday party. He wants this, he wants that. I'm just like, bro, we got to lower the expectations. So we're excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a great season.
And I feel like, Aaron, we got to do this where we stop doing season 3 episode, just what episode number is this total? 40 something?
Oh, yeah.
Almost 50. We're just going to call this episode 50. We're almost 50 episodes in. Yeah. Still no sponsors, but
hit us up.
We're going to get brought to you by The Office, not the TV show.
The theme song.
But it's episode, let's call it 50 for time's sake. And we're just going to keep going.
Yeah.
We're going to have the best time.
It's going to keep getting better.
We will be back next week and we'll email you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, the email will be released. Subscribe. Yes. Comment. And I would never ask for your feed. We always say this at church.
Oh, yeah.
I would never ask for your feed.
It's rude.
But post it on your story. Let somebody get inspired and become a leaner. You know what my favorite part of the travel with my boys was this summer? everywhere I went, people would say, I'm a leaner.
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, Pastor Chad, I'm a leaner.
Leaners.
Hey, just so you know, I'm a leaner.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the leaners.
Let's
We
go.
love you. We'll be back next week. Peace.